It's like nothing has missed a beat. Welcome back to Game Galaxy, and it's finally here, Shenmue III. I got Keith here with me again. We're going to talk about our thoughts and feelings about this game. There's going to be no spoilers, and the footage is not going to spoil anything. But I got some bullet points here that I'm just going to run through really quick, and then we'll get into some conversation as well. And first and foremost, I have to say, Corey Marshall, like, it's like he didn't even skip a beat. No time has passed at all, and we are so blessed to have him because he is Yu Suzuki, and it's so awesome to hear his voice and everything from the game. There's so much of it is the same. The loading screens are the same.
Yeah.
The save menus at bedtime are the same.
It's only Ryo's voice that's the same.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
Everybody else is
Everybody else has changed.
Which somebody made a good point. They were like, well, we begged for Corey Marshall to be back, but we didn't beg for the entire cast.
But Corey, it was so well, and the first thing I said when I put the game in to my wife, I was just like, it's like they didn't miss a beat. And it was so funny because the Happy Console Gamer made a video, and those were the exact words he said, where nothing missed a beat, and it felt the same. The graphics are just beautiful.
Yeah. Better than I thought.
Better than what we thought,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I was so pleased that when I saw Ryo's face and everything in the game on my own TV, that I was like, wow, it's better than what I thought. Like, they added...
There was something in the screenshots where it didn't quite look, or the cutscenes you would see where it didn't quite look how you wanted it to, but the game...
they kept it the smooth anime video game face, but they've added like a little texture there, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
And it's a far cry from when they showed that progress video that I yelled about when it happened. Everyone was like, oh, they look goofy, and back then I was like, no, they're just not lit. They haven't finished them. They haven't done that. So it's great to see that to where it is now. And it's just beautiful. And I was worried. I've seen some of the YouTube clips of 4K ultra settings on PC. It's super beautiful. And I'm like, how much are we going to be missing on PS4, which I know both of us are playing on. But it's not missing. I mean, you and I both are on base PlayStation 4s, and it looks beautiful. So we don't even have the Pro PlayStation. If we did, it's supposed to look better. I think you can
Great lighting, and I like how it's stylized still, but yet there is a feeling of realism.
It's beautiful. It's like an ultra super HD Dreamcast feel.
Yeah, well, and that's what we've always said. He's great at capturing the feel of a place, even...
Yu Suzuki.
Even if you've never been there, it feels like a real place. You can almost smell it. Yeah, it feels like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so good. I love that you have to first person still look at items. The ability to look in all the drawers for no reason is still there, which was great. And also, I don't know if you've looked at the pot that Shenhua cooks stuff in, but it looks like they're still doing that technique of a picture, but in the thing. And I was like, kind of like where it's the 2D picture to make it look 3D. And I was like, they're still doing it. They still have the nighttime transition cutscenes. When 7 o'clock rolls around, you get the little music.
Same sort of music.
Yeah, and the sound effects are the same when you pick up something.
Yeah.
But the one thing that irks me is they changed the sound for the notebook entry. I was like, if you're gonna keep the sound of getting something, the whoom, like give me the dung.
So that's what I'll say about everything being the same. Is it does, and it's great. But that to me almost like highlighted some of the things that weren't the same, which I just sort of questioned, like, why would you switch that?
Yeah.
Like that
It
works.
was so
like,
iconic.
You know.
My favorite thing I think really about the game is the music. The music is just so Shenmue. And I haven't done any lookings into the Kickstarter, like if it's the same composers or not, but it sure sounds like it. It's like, that's it, or you hear those certain drums, and those are Shenmue drums.
There's a certain temple area in Bailu that I love the music. It's I don't want to say too much what it is, but it's great.
Yeah. Some of the new stuff that I love that's in the game is some of the ways that you make money, such as there's a chopping wood mini game.
That's a good one.
That's actually fun. It doesn't get you very much money, but unlike carrying boxes in Shenmue II.
And they admit that. They say it doesn't pay well.
Yeah. But it's pretty fun to do, and I love when you split one right down the middle, the soundtrack changes to this other song. Training is back in the game. So you can train...
Even more so than ever.
Absolutely. So Shenmue 1, they had it. You trained all your moves, and we all loved that. Yeah. And Shenmue 2 kind of stripped it off and made it all about the action all the time. And there wasn't really training beyond what you could do in street fights, I suppose, to practice your moves. Yeah. But they brought it back in a big way. You practice your endurance training, your strength training, and then your attack with sparring and building up moves. It's all back, and it's fun and rewarding and satisfying. Some of the other things for getting money, you can fish, which I've done once. It's kind of fun. It reminded me of fishing in Final Fantasy 15, but easier. And then you can herb collect.
Right.
And you and I thought you could just collect herbs all day, but they don't.
They'd grow back all the time. It doesn't.
They don't seem to quite. They don't seem to quite grow back. So.
I thought maybe they would after it rains. I was running around, and it seemed like maybe in some spots, but not everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like licorice.
Yes, licorice all day long.
That grows back.
Licorice all day long, for sure. So the way I'm playing the game is I've waited a long time for this, so I'm totally going through it extremely slow. I'm taking my time. I don't fast travel. When you come out of your door, you can choose to jump to stuff. I always say no. And there's also a feature for you impatient people out there where if you need to wait to an appointed time to something,
right?
You can hit triangle and it'll jump you there. I personally have never pushed it because there's so much things for you to do that you should be doing, in my opinion, that will take that time up. Either it's working or exercising and training your moves and training your martial arts, or just exploring. I mean,
although, like I'm saying, I think because of certain cues I've gotten from the game, I feel like I've overtrained my kung fu to where the game doesn't expect you to quite be at that.
Yeah.
I'm
at a point where I can't get any more endurance, and I'm still in the first kind of area. So, but I'm just really trying to savor and live in it and really breathe it and not try to rush through. There's kind of a, the week this released was one of the worst weeks for me. I didn't get to play that much in the first week because it was trailer delivery for, the movie I'm working on, and then we had a death in the family, so I had to go back home to where the family is, and it was just like, finally Shenmue's out, and it's like, I can't play it.
Now what about this new stuff you didn't mention? I don't know if you like it or not. You can change Rio's clothes.
You sure can, and I haven't done it yet.
Oh, I've done one thing.
What's that?
I upgraded my shoes. I got the S4s, baby.
Oh, see?
I'm not rocking the S3s anymore.
That was something I loved. His shoes have the subtle S3 on it, being like Shenmue 3. But in the store, there's Shenmue 4
Dude,
shoes.
you gotta get the S4s.
Yeah. And we already know Yu wants to make Shenmue 4, but it's also a nod of Shenmue 4.
I did like the one T-shirt you can get too that has like a monk kicking.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
I didn't end up grinding.
I've been tempted to get a red shirt though because
I knew, dude. I saw the red shirt. I was like, Jamie's gonna get it.
So I'm gonna bring up a few complaints that I have with it. Number one is Shenhua's look. I don't understand why they changed her character design. I liked her clothes.
I didn't even notice they did.
Hang on a sec. Let's pull this out here. Oh. See how she used to look like that?
I guess.
Right there. And they just changed it to this yellow thing and her hair.
Yeah.
I just never understood why they fully
that's true.
Yeah, why they fully did that.
Okay.
And so that's just, it's a minor complaint, but I don't. Also, this is me being a little mean. I'm still deciding if I like or dislike her English voice actor or not. And here's why. It's because every line said is in the same intonation.
So I was just gonna ask, do you even like Shenhua? No, I don't mean that to sound as harsh as it does, but I just want to ask that, do you like her as a character? Do you feel close to her?
She's still too much of an enigma for me to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm basing this off of old Project Berkeley trailers back when it was on the Saturn and stuff.
She's no Nozomi.
She is no Nozomi. But there was old trailers of these two dudes grab onto her and then she explodes in a magic thing. I don't know if you remember seeing this video.
No.
If not, I'll show you after this. And then in Shenmue 2, when I replayed the HD master, I don't think this happened to me the first time I played it. She was like, look at all these flowers, and made them float. And dude, I gotta show you, it's wacky. And he's like, how are you doing this? And it's clearly she's got magical powers. She also claims to talk to animals. So
Rio always looks at her a little weird about that.
Really?
Did you get the conversation where you can ask if it's a superpower?
Yes,
or
yes. It's funny. Which you mean a superpower?
That's what I said, superpower.
Yeah, because everything else seemed mean to say.
Now, I've gotten to a part in the story. I've gotten farther than Jamie because I've been able to play, but something happens with her, and it's almost creepy.
Oh.
So, wait till you get there.
Okay.
I don't even know how to take it still. Like, I don't know whether it was like a joke. It's meant to be taken as a joke, but it's weird. And it's kind of dark and creepy, and it definitely suddenly made me look at Shenhua in a completely different light.
Interesting.
So, we'll see what happens when you get there.
I still am deciding whether or not I like the battle system. I go back and forth. I'm getting better at it, but it was just so weird to me.
Yeah.
It seems almost more like a Tekken game, I guess, than
It does.
doing the directions.
Yeah, it seems like a fighting game. But the thing is, that's what I was telling you, is the directions are in there. Like, you have to look at the description of
where it
the
says
move.
a step.
And to me, this was like, I'm just like, it's very Japanese to like not give you all of the information.
Yeah.
Just be like, but I like it. It's like,
Yeah.
you have to actually read and look at the move and understand what it's doing. But it'll say like, take a step backwards and then do,
Press the buttons.
similar to how they would. In Shenmue 1, they would always sort of describe moves when they were teaching it that way. They'd be like, shift your weight forward, and then attack with your arms and legs, and that would be like, okay, so it's supposed to be forward, punch, kick, and it's sort of the same. But I don't like that they took away throws.
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a real big bummer. I don't understand why they did that. Throws were such a big integral part of how I fought with Ryo.
Yeah.
So to have them be gone is painful.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of his fighting style too.
Yep.
So it's lame. And I've got some moves where you end up really close to the other opponent, and you would think that's a natural time to throw, and you can't. I am only speculating here that perhaps I'm not calling anybody lazy, but perhaps it was easier to not have them because either they would have required. Each throw would have required motion capture or more animation than just...
Did you plug in the animation from the first game?
I don't know.
What was bad about that animation?
I don't know. It was great. I'm sure it's vastly different code nowadays from way back when to what it is now. I watched the backer credits. I don't know if you've done that yet, but I watched it. It scrolls forever. Regardless of sales, that right there should show Sega how much love there is for the product of Shenmue. And then beyond that, I hope that enough of crazy people out there like me, and I know people that are fans on Shenmue 500K, have bought multiple copies, but I hope enough sells and enough that Sega looks at this and says, okay, let's help you make 4. Because somebody made a great point on the Shenmue page, on the Facebook page. They said, it's a different time than it was years ago. We're more likely to get Shenmue 4 now because they said if Sega can make 6 Yakuza games, we can probably get 4 thing. And I said, that's true. Yakuza is very niche. Yeah. I know it's gotten more popular, but I still haven't played the series. I don't think you have.
Well, and I think another thing to think, any of the, again, to go back to the negative reviews, is just, for me, it's like, every game doesn't have to be what you expect it to be or what you want it to be. It's like sometimes just play the game for what it is and what it's intended to be. Like a lot of people don't like QTE. Well, it's like, sorry, that's part of Shenmue. That's what this game is, and you can't. You have to accept it for what it is and play it for what it is.
Definitely not the first, but it was the progenitor of making QTE. Shenmue 3 is amazing. Go play it, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.